My name is Travis Ridgen, and I spent last season playing for the Motor City Rockers professional hockey in the FPHL. Now, I was recently picked up by an expansion team in Whiteville, Virginia in the league's expansion draft, but in between that time, I had hip surgery, and that was in January 2023. Now, I want to start this video off explaining what has changed in my body since the surgery because it seems that 5 months later, a lot of people still don't understand that. This right here is my hip prior to the surgery, and note the bumps that you're going to see right here and here. Those are large bone growths on my femur. Now, this right here is a normal hip without those bone growths. Keep in mind, the human body is only capable of a maximum of 45 degrees of internal rotation, but because of my bone growths on my right hip, you can see how this would become a problem and impossible to do since the growths were basically the wall that I was physically running into. And compared to the x-ray post-surgery, considering that the goaltending in 2023 is 110% done in internal rotation of the hip, you can imagine how freed I feel right now going from 5 degrees of internal rotation pre-surgery to over 20 degrees post-surgery. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Let's begin. At the end of the day, I'm doing what feels right for me and chasing down my dream.
So now you're like almost too far forward, right? What's happening is because you're up like this and now you're trying to lean forward like that, what you gotta do is just bend a bit deeper and then you can get yourself into a position.
What do you want me to do?
So just bend down a bit more. Bend your knees a bit more, get your legs a little bit further apart. There you go. Now, there you go. Now your pad's right up. Oh! Okay, stop. You haven't been in a car accident that I've known about, right?
I don't want to be.
So maybe it's just you've got the car accident brain. So bring your head. Remember Carey Price, one of his incredible talents is if you point your toe and you bring your head that way, your head is over the glide leg and your body is going to move as well. Good. Don't be there you go. That was probably the best head movement there because you actually moved your head. Push, pull, push, pull. Ready? Go. Push, pull, push, pull. Good. And then you take your time, okay? Good. Push, pull. Bang. Good. You see how quiet that is? Fire. Exactly. So you see how you're able to garnish some of that? There. What's the difference? I noticed on your pads you have this shiny glossy thing on your knee strike. This thing?
Plastic, yeah.
Who put that there?
Tons.
Yeah. Okay. And go. Shot. Go. Good. Shot. Go. Push. Good. You might think we're not getting a whole lot done, but you're getting an enormous amount done because you're correcting a lot of your east-west movement, which is the toughest movement.
Check this out. The Hyperlite 2 shaft. This thing is taking an absolute beating. This is holding up quite nicely. Not breaking yet. Now, if you're new to the channel, well, I basically mention my surgically repaired hip a lot these days, and I've been playing around with just about every brand of gear trying to find out what's going to work best for my newfound range, mobility, and strength. And here in Vancouver, there's an awesome demo day called Tendyfest, hosted by the Hockey Shop. Now, all the major brands are here, and on this demo day, I started off with trying the new CCM E-Flex 6s and the 581 glove. And I'm going to be honest, it wasn't exactly the cup of tea that I was looking for, so I went on to the next set, which is the Bauer Hyperlite 2s. And although I already own the Sheath 90 580 style glove, I haven't tried the pads. The sliding wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. The boot flex was extremely nice, and obviously the hard rebounds were second to none. And finally, the Vaughn SLR 3s. And I gotta say that these were probably the biggest surprise of the day for me. They slid incredibly, the balance was next level, and although they are heavy as bricks, the pads and the block just felt really good. I also had TikTok starting at the goalie right here trying to teach me how to Michigan the puck. Obviously, I had absolutely no success doing this.
I can't coach much, but I can coach this.
And that was a Hockey Shop's Tendyfest demo day. Stay in touch. A camera woman. The cameraman never dies in the movies, by the way. Catch. This actually doesn't feel horrible, to be honest. A little tight in the palm. Probably gotta break that in a bit, but it feels light. I mean, it's hyper light. If it was hyper heavy, it'd be kind of redundant. Hyperlite 2 pads, extra large sizing. So that's the next sizing up from what I used last year with the Mox. That's pretty nice. You seen the camera lady? Get in here. Riding in my Fiat. Wait until you see it. The soft boot allows you to really hinge off the post, I find. And that was one thing that I liked a lot better about my Sheath 20.2s compared to the Sheath G6s. The G6s had a really, really stiff boot, but like this is nice, and it's a totally flat boot, so the pad should sit a little higher. I don't have any ice times for the next couple of days, so I'll probably use it for the first time when I go to Halifax and for the next couple weeks. How do I look? So these are the exact same chest protector. Now one looks a little bit bigger than the other, and the reason being is I was talking to Matt Murray the other day, and I'll throw a picture up on the screen. He looks huge, even though he's using NHL spec equipment. He said, never, ever hang it up on the jersey hook, because you end up stretching it out and it ends up getting soft and limp. Always sit it down, never hang it, and just keep it nice and crispy. So if anybody's looking for some tips, my woman is not very happy with all the gear that I have in here in the boxes, so I gotta sell some stuff. It'll all be up on the Sideline Swap Locker. Link in the description if you want to check out any of my gear and you want to pick some up. It's early, 6:30 a.m., and this is my Muay Thai class that I do once a week. Now, this is Connor right here, our instructor, laying out the game plan for today's class. Muay Thai is really good cardio, and since I've been told by my physio that I'm not allowed to do jiu-jitsu post-surgery, Muay Thai is the next best option for me. What a class. So in the past 5-6 months since hip surgery, one thing that you've probably seen in this channel and a passion of mine that's really kind of picked up is travel. Specifically the next week I'm going to be heading to Halifax for 10 days to skate with Jack Hardigan. I skated with Jack probably like 5-6 years ago and he was really good, just haven't had a chance to get back, and Halifax is a stunning place on the east coast of Canada. Flying back to Winnipeg for a week, see my family, see my cat, and then also a couple NHL draft picks, Owen Pickering, all the fellas. Apparently they miss having a goalie that lets pucks in, so I guess I'll be the guy for that. And also when I get back from Winnipeg, the missus and I are going to be doing a little bit of a camping trip down to Revelstoke, which is halfway between Vancouver and Calgary in the Selkirk Mountains on the Rogers Pass, just east of Kamloops. We just did a camping trip to the Sunshine Coast, maybe like last weekend. It was really good, so we're going to do another camping trip, and hopefully I don't get eaten by any bears. And speaking of bears, let's talk about today's video sponsor, NordVPN. I always travel with NordVPN. The reason being is that anytime I'm at an airport or on a train, I'm using public Wi-Fi, and that allows websites to track me and store my data. I don't want that. Enter NordVPN. Their first-in-class cybersecurity hides my location, keeps my data encrypted, and the brand new threat protection is what keeps me safe and secure every time I travel, especially for streaming NHL games, SHL games, or my favorite UFC fights. Nord is the VPN that I trust, and when you go to the first link in the video description at nordvpn.com/TravForOilers, you're going to get access to the best pricing that they have to offer, only at nordvpn.com/TravForOilers. Again, there's a link in the video description to take advantage of that. And I want to say thank you so much to Nord for sponsoring this video. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm off to Halifax on Monday the 26th, taking the train back from Halifax to Toronto with my buddy Rob from Butt Ends, back home to see my family in Winnipeg before returning to Vancouver for the final stretch of the off-season before the FPHL season and training camp starts. And I'll be sharing updates with you as they come about, where I'm going for this season as far as the Virginia team goes, because at this moment of time recording this video, I'm not signed. I also have updates on my podcast, Sling the Biscuit, every single Sunday, so if you want to check that out, there's a link in the video description as well. And I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.